Hey guys, how are you doing? It feels so weird coming back after 2 days off, as I typically only take just one. It really feels like I haven't made a video in weeks. But today we break the wheel. Today I want to talk about a small but important update that took place this past Saturday, and I also want to lay back and start the week off in a very positive note by discussing the overwhelming set of positive catalysts that will ought to not only inform you on what to look forward to, but also bring some relief to folk that are new to the movement and might be a bit uncertain about what is going to happen next. Please take a second to drop a like on the video, it really helps the channel, and let me know in the comments down below, what motivates you to stay strong holding and buying more shares of AMC and GME? What is the source of your strength that keeps bringing you back to holding strong and buying confidently? I am really curious to know the motivating factors of my viewers. This part Saturday, May 15th, SRICC 2021-005 passed. We have talked about this amendment before, but if you need a quick refresher, this amendment essentially makes it easier to handle the auctions that will take place when a defaulting party doesn't pay their debt. Putting it in perspective, if and when hedge funds are unable to delay the squeeze anymore, and are forced into buying back every single naked short that they criminally printed, they will most likely default on the payment. They will surely bring up excuses, but in the end, they will be suspended and their assets will be sold at an auction for other members to buy off at a discount. The money raised from this auction will be used to pay off the debt, giving us the mother of all squeezes that we have been yearning for. A concern that has grown was that hedge funds will not cancel all short shares, and somehow manage to squeeze themselves out of trouble. I talked about it briefly on my Twitter. It is impossible for hedge funds to escape from their predicament because as the naked shares are going to be cancelled out as they are being sold, they will be forced to cover and buy back every single one of them at prices in the thousands when we squeeze, which will further raise the price. Upon selling, the naked phantom criminally printed shares will be cancelled. They will not go back into the original gloat size to create liquidity. You can rest easy that no, hedge funds cannot escape their positions. The new amendment is a great development that will essentially make the process of auctioning their assets a lot easier, so I am really glad that finally happened. Now, the next thing that kind of shook me a little was that this weekend there was a small group of apes raising efforts to tell others to start tanking Disney, Hulu, Netflix and HBO Max as a way to retaliate against hedge funds and the overall market. It was quite sad to see that some of the people haven't really learned the lesson and resorted to act exactly like the very entity we are trying to defy and beat. Though I believe this could to a certain extent be bots implemented by hedge funds to try to get apes to refocus efforts away from AMC and GME, I know that many investors also fell for it. The idea that everything is a pure hedge fund tactic and that we should be absolved from accountability will work against us. We must course correct and reflect, and open discussions and dialogue without resorting to bullying online in order to work together as a well-oiled machine. It is a bad idea to short any of these companies from the get-go, and we should not do it out of spite either. The existence of streaming services does not pose a threat to theaters, or AMC in this case, because both can coexist together. There are movies I like watching at home and there are movies I absolutely feel like watching on a big screen with a huge crowd. Infinity War was an event that if you didn't watch on theaters, you really missed out. There are tons of people that love theaters, and guess what? As an avid moviegoer, I can tell you theaters are getting packed again. Both companies can coexist together and there is no need to attack one in order to make the other one rise in stock value. That is a pure hedge fund move that harms the economy, harms investors and further instigates hostility amongst shareholders. Please do not resort to this level of foolishness, as no one will back you up and you will most likely lose all of your money shorting that. It may be that the majority of accounts on social media spreading this were bots, but I also saw many investors hyping it up too. Accountability is the one thing we need if we are to be successful in our purpose, and that is why I took a moment to address that real quick. Now, let's turn the vibe positive to a 100, so sit back and strap on your seatbelt. I am going to quickly go over and explain why it is that the value of both GameStop and AMC are increasing. We know GameStop is evolving their business model to be more online-centric. In their last statement, GameStop online sales increased 175% in Q4, compared to the previous year. These sales accounted for 34% of the net sales, which again is compared to 12%. Sales increased 11% overall for January. There is a new batch of board members, many coming from companies such as Google or Amazon. We also know that they will be announcing their new CEO fairly soon, so that is a catalyst in the works. We know that GameStop is also selling computer parts and gaming chairs. Computer gaming is on the rise, so this shift in focus to also provide products will certainly benefit the company long term. They also gained $551 million by selling shares, and paid off over $216 million of their debt. They recently leased a fulfillment center 700,000 square foot big. Most importantly, however, is that they have mentioned that they could consider adding dividends, which in my opinion will absolutely be crushing to hedge funds, as that money will be used to buy even more shares by investors. Something investors should look forward to is that we are awaiting a shareholder vote count, which could expose the colossal manipulation hedge funds have implemented on the stock, and potentially give GameStop the ability to audit shares, causing Shared to be obligated to be covered, and it could set off a squeeze. We also have a ton of proposals coming out that will further constrain the ability of hedge funds to successfully delay the squeeze. Moving over to AMC, there are over 3.2 million shareholders backing the stock. The number is bound to keep growing, especially now that we have seen celebrities also join in on social media and back the stock. AMC has negotiated deals with movie studios to preserve and ensure that movies start coming out on theaters again as restrictions are eased off. This will also add thousands and thousands of jobs. We also know that in only 2 weeks, AMC completed the sale of 43 million shares. This raised over $428 million in cash, which puts the company in a stronger position to capitalize on opportunities ahead. They now have over $1 billion in total liquidity, and over $1.2 billion of their debt has been paid off. It is a fool's gamble to bet against these two companies. They are incredibly popular with its shareholders, and the position they find themselves in should bring confidence to new investors, as the future is bright, and that is not accounting for the squeeze, as that is bound to rocket propel them out of the Milky Way soon enough. Let's now talk about today's price performance for both of these stocks. I want to disclose that all analysis is made by me, and I am not a financial advisor. All the content we are about to talk about is solely my opinion based on my own experience and using my own set of tools and studies. Remember, there has been a quick and surprising growth on the amount of bots and accounts trying to spread fear or get you to invest in other securities other than AMC and GME, and we can no longer remain on the sidelines anymore. It is more important than ever that you engage in content you find useful and resourceful through even the smallest actions, such as liking a video or commenting below. Ask questions, give constructive feedback, hype up others, share the videos or posts. If you do not want to do any of that, at least drop a like on content you agree with, because here is what is happening when you don't. The amount of space is going to be filled with bots and accounts spreading disinformation to get the squeeze to be delayed even further. By you taking action, we can fill up the available public space and encourage new investors to partake with us in our ever-growing community. With that being said, let's finally begin talking about the performance we saw today. AMC began pre-market not with a surge, but with a considerable rocket-propelled launch. We were constantly testing the upper band of the VWAP, reaching 13.70 before markets opened. Even better, the consolidation that took place all happened around the VWAP line, which added a ton of momentum and strength for the eventual eruption it was going to have. Upon market open, we moved rocketed to 14.38 with barely any resistance. We then consolidated a bit right below the VWAP line, but the fact that stock was stubborn to back down below pre-market prices assured me that it had too much fuel and momentum. The stock traded upwards and sideways for most of the day. Not a lot of manipulation was experienced today until the closing hour, where the closing price was vertically dipped to a mere 13.95. Support was built around 13.80 and 13.70. As you can see, we are in a bit of a bullish wedge except for that last-minute price dip. The stock should and will move up in the pre-market tomorrow, easily testing 14.20 if not higher, unless the stock is heavily shorted and attacked. AMC was trending on Twitter today, and if we carry that throughout the rest of the day into tomorrow, we will definitely move higher. This marks, I believe, the 7th day in a row that AMC closes higher than the previous trading day, suggesting a ton of confidence and inability for hedge funds to operate and manipulate the stock as they once did. Resistance will be felt at 14.20 tomorrow, and could easily pass 14.38, which was the high of today. We ended the day trading above the VWAP line, so that will most likely have AMC trading in the range of 13.87 and 14.05 in the after hours today. Now, if you think AMC ran well, let's discuss GameStop. It began pre-market trading sideways, with no momentum or anything. However, upon market opening, GME chose violence and traded upwards the entire day. The only thing to note here today is that the stock built support at 168, at 170, and at 176. GME is in a bullish edge moving up, and it was only attacked in the last couple of minutes of trading, closing at 180.60. The high of the day was 182.5. The stock is bullish and will remain bullish into tomorrow. I expect it to move pre-market in a range of 178 and 182. GameStop was an absolute monster today, and there is honestly not a lot of technical stuff to discuss because the stock moved in a perfect and direct fashion. It consolidated a lot at 170, which was above the VWAP, but that is it. Expect more boom tomorrow for both of the stocks. And yeah, guys, that is all I have for you today. Thank you for making it to the end of my video. I really appreciate you if you made it all the way here. I sound like a needy broken record, but please do consider supporting the channel by joining my Patreon account. Any pledge is humbly appreciated. This will help me be able to start funding some airplane banners that will fly around Florida with signs promoting people to buy and hold GME and AMC until we reach the moon. Any amount you can pledge helps, so please don't shy away from it. The link is provided to you in the description below. Let me know what you think of the video. I am super excited about tomorrow, so I hope to see you here with me in the trenches again. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow at the moon.